Alright, we'll take a quick look at Chapter 2 of Access. It's normal when you open up your database that you get a security warning at the top, so just get in the habit of always enabling that. And we should be able to see to the far left in the navigation pane your tables, your queries, your reports from Chapter 1. Now, Chapter 2 is all about searching the database and performing queries, and a query is posing a question to the database. So the deal is, the idea behind it is you have all this data out there and lots of people want to share this data. Someone might want to look up somebody's address, somebody else might need to look up where somebody lives, I need to find out how much somebody owes me. So we're going to perform a variety of queries, and I'll get you kind of started on the routine, kind of how it works for Chapter 2. So if you could open up your Blackboard and go out and find your review sheets. It's really nice if you have your review sheet for Access Chapter 2 kind of laying out in front of you as you're working through the chapter. So to create a query, you can go up to the Create tab and go to Query Design. We're going to be able to pick and choose the tables that we would like to work with. And of course we can have both open if we want. But we're going to start off with the Client table and choose Add and then just Close. In the upper pane you'll see the Client table. Let's just stretch that out so you can see all the fields. Now as you look here, these are the fields that are available. We're going to pick and choose the fields that we would like in our query. So our very first query says for us to select the client table and include client number, client name, amount paid, and current due. So you can double click your field to move it to the lower pane, or you can go to the lower pane and you can get the drop down and pick and choose the field that you would like, or you can click and drag. So about 3 different ways to move fields from the upper pane to the lower pane. So ideally you want to end up with client number, client name, amount paid, and current due. Now after we get this set up how we would like, then your procedure is that you'll just run. After you run it, then you should be able to look in the book and see if your result matches the book exactly. So on the review sheet it tells you to look at page 80 and you can see if your results match exactly like the textbook. So you'll go to Create and we'll set up each one and then save it. So our procedure here, we need to save this. So we'll go to File and choose Save Object As. I'm going to call it Query 1. I would like to probably stick on the tail end or the front end of it. I would like to say that this is Camashley Design, and I want to put my name on it somewhere, so I'm going to stick M Cotton on the end. And you'll OK it. It'll be saved over here to the side for me, and they're going to be named and numbered. So when I grade your homework, they have got to be numbered, or I'm not going to know which query is which. So number those carefully so I can see. Now we'll go to number 2, and instead of starting all over from scratch, if you guys just hit Design View, it takes you right back to the Query Design area, and we can set up the second one. So that's a little shortcut. On the second one it says they want us to use the previous query. We want to include client number, client name, amount paid, current due again, but this time I am specifically needing to look up a certain client. Maybe this client's calling me and they want to find out how much they owe us. So if I have specific criteria that I'm looking for, over to the far left, you guys see the criteria line. I need to type that information on the criteria line, being very careful that I'm typing it underneath the correct field. So they tell me it's client number BC76. So I want to make sure I type that criteria underneath client number. And then you go up to your ribbon and you hit Run, and it pulls up one record, BC76 Buddha Community Clinic, and I can find out how much they paid us, how much is due. That's it. Save it. So we'll go to File and Save As. And we need to make sure that we get rid of Copy Of. And I need to change that from a Query 1 to a Query 2 and OK it. You've got to save each one of these. Otherwise, if they are not saved, then I am not going to have any idea whose is whose. So this is the idea. You got to have these numbered here. So to get back into the procedure again, go to Design View. Number 3, I am looking this time for a wildcard. I would like to include, again, client number, but we're done with BC76, so just backspace or delete that. I would like client name, amount paid, and current due. In the textbook, if you look at page 84, they're telling you to pull up those clients with a name of GR. I care that my client's name starts with GR, but I don't care what follows. So you have two kinds of wildcards. You have an asterisk and a question mark. The asterisk is a wildcard for several characters. The question mark means you're missing one character. So let's say I'm helping a student register for a class and their name is Tim or Tom. I'm unsure of what I'm looking for exactly. I could use a wildcard and use the question mark. Or if they tell me their name is Stanton, Stanley, Stanford, something like that, I'm unsure of the characters at the end. If it's several characters I'm missing, I could use the asterisk. So in this case, we care that it starts with GR. I don't know what the rest of the characters are, so I'm going to use GR asterisk. And again, we'll run. And that should pull up 2 records that meet that criteria. It should be Grant Antiques and Granger Foundation. And file and save that object as. This is going to be number 3. So name and number each one. Again, I can't reinforce that enough. And we'll go back and we'll go to Design View. And you're ready for the 4th one. The 4th one is an example of a no-show. I would like to include client number, client name, amount paid, and current due. Let's get rid of our GR information. But I would like to include city. So let's add city to the design grid. So add city. Now, specifically, I'm looking for those clients that are located in Georgetown. So just like we did before, I need to go to the correct field, which is city. I'm going to go on that criteria line and I'll type in Georgetown. So this is when you have any typos in your database, that's going to give you problems. So make sure that you proofread your database very carefully. If I currently run this, it's going to show me all fields, including Georgetown. Well, in the book, they show that field as hidden. So once in a while, we need to make that happen. So if we go to Design View, and if you guys see the check mark that says Show all the way across, once in a while we have confidential information that we want to turn off. Maybe I don't want to show everyone ID numbers or addresses, or in this case, cities. So turn off the check mark and run it. Same exact data, except you have hidden the city. So that's an example of a no-show. And be really careful on your homework assignments when you get over to Access Project 2, the homework, because a lot of those have some no-show ideas, and it won't come out and say no-show. You just got to read it very carefully. So we'll save object as. That's number 4. So we'll do a few more here to kind of get you in the idea of how this is working. We'll go to Design View, and we're looking at number 5. Setting up parameters. In this one, we would like to include client number, client name, amount paid, current due, and city. But let's get rid of Georgetown. I would like to set up a query that is kind of generic enough that it will let me search for multiple cities. So I know it's hard to see what I'm typing in here. If you use straight brackets and type in enter city, it's going to let me search for multiple cities. Every time I run my query, I can type in whatever city I'm looking for. So let's try that. Underneath the city field, go to that criteria line. You need a straight bracket. Type in enter city as your prompt and a straight bracket at the end. To kind of illustrate and show you this exactly in the book, if you look about page 88. I run it. It's going to ask me, okay, what city are you looking for? And in the book, they're asking you to look for Kyle. If I I run it. I have 2 clients that are located in Kyle Grocery, and Patricia Jean Florist. Those are the 2 available. So this will give you an idea of what's included in Chapter 2 of Access. It's a bunch of queries. There's about 19 queries that you'll walk through, and in detail, just read carefully. They show you good examples, and this will give you a good feel and a good start. Good luck.